In our tour of the tablet, we talked a little bit about the shelf. The shelf is at the bottom of the screen and is similar to the dock on a MacBook. The shelf is how we get to our home button, and it's also where we can pin some important applications that we want students to have quick access to. So the first thing I want to talk about is hiding the shelf. This would be beneficial when you're in an application or when you're on a website and you want to give yourself some more room on your screen and you don't want that shelf along the bottom. So if I hold down on the shelf, I have the option to auto hide the shelf. So what that's going to do when I go into an app is it's going to automatically hide that shelf. So now we don't see it along the bottom. To get it back, I am going to have to drag up from the bottom. So when I drag up from the bottom, I can now see that shelf and the home button to get me back home. To get the shelf back into automatically staying at the bottom, you'll just hold down on the shelf again and then select Always Show Shelf. The next thing to know about the shelf is that students can customize the shelf, or you can customize the shelf with applications that they visit often. So you can see that I have the camera, Chrome, Epic, and Seesaw on my shelf. So I've got those pinned there, which means they always stay right there on the shelf. To get rid of them, I can hold down and select Unpin, and then it's no longer on my shelf. You'll notice that when I unpinned Seesaw, a couple things popped up on my shelf. These are apps that have not been pinned to the shelf, but that are currently open on my device. So if I'd like to close those, instead of going to the window switcher, I can just hold down and close those right from my shelf. If there's an app you would like to be pinned to your shelf that is not already pinned to your shelf, you can just hold down on that app and then select Pin to Shelf. And that app will now be pinned to the shelf. We're going to learn how to put apps into folders and how to move apps between panels. Let's start by moving apps to different panels. You can see on my third panel down, I've got a folder of unused apps. Most of these apps are apps that just come with the tablet and you can't delete them off of the device. So what I did is I moved them down to the far bottom panel and put them in a folder called Unused. Similarly, if there is an app that you don't want students to see or that you don't want them really using, you could move it down. So the Play Store is how we get our apps, but maybe you don't want students playing around in the Play Store. So I can hold down on that app and just drag it to the bottom of the panel, and then it'll move to the next panel, and then I can drag down to the bottom of that panel, and I can put it on this far bottom panel. Let's say we wanted to make a folder of apps that kids use in literacy. So maybe I want to group ABC Kids and Vocabulary City. So I can hold down on ABC Kids and drop it on top of Vocabulary City. And all of a sudden I've created a folder. To name that folder, I just tap the folder, tap Unnamed, and then go ahead and call it Literacy. To get out of the folder, I just tap outside of the folder. Similar to moving apps from panel to panel, I can also move folders from panel to panel by again just holding down on the folder and then dragging it to the bottom of the panel again and again until I bring it to the panel where I would like it. All right. Sometimes you're going to be looking for an app in the Play Store. One example is the app Freckle that I know a lot of teachers at K-5 use. That is not an available app in the Play Store, but you still may want your students to have access to the Freckle website so that they can log in and get the same learning experience. So something we're able to do on the tablet is add the website or add any website as an icon that looks like an app on the Chrome tablet. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm going to pop into Chrome and I'm going to search for the Freckle website. And here I am at freckle.com. I might go exactly to the place I want my students to be taken to, and then that's when I'm going to add the shortcut. So let's say this is where I want my students to get to once they click Freckle. So I'm going to go up to the top 3 dots, and I'm going to go to More Tools. And then I'm going to select Create Shortcut. And I'm going to make it an easy name. Probably just put Freckle. Get rid of all the extra. And I am going to select Open as Window. So what this will do is when students tap the Freckle icon, it will open up a brand new window, almost like opening up a new app. So I'm going to create that shortcut. And I'm going to go back to my home. And I'm going to go to my panel down. And you can now see that Freckle's been added as a shortcut on the device. So when students click that icon, it'll take them to the exact place that we wanted them to go. And to make it feel like a true app experience, we can always hold down on the shelf and auto hide the shelf so that the Freckle app is full screen and our students get that full capability, almost like the application.